A train pulls into a small depot. German POWs, exhausted and apprehensive, disembark under armed guard. Among them is Hans Mueller, 22, a former Wehrmacht soldier, gaunt and wary. Local townspeople watch from a distance. Voiceover, elderly Hans. We expected America to be like the stories we'd heard, brutal, vengeful. We were wrong about so many things. Rows of barracks surrounded by barbed wire. The POWs march through the gates. Lieutenant B.O.B. Carter, 28, compassionate but firm, stands at attention. L.T. Carter, welcome to America. You did not start this war, and neither did I. We are all victims of war. The German POWs exchange confused glances. L.T. Carter counted. I can yell at you. I can treat you like the enemy. Or, we can treat each other with respect. If you follow orders and work hard, we can make this camp clean, peaceful, and safe. Everyone will be well fed. What do you think? Silence. Then, hesitantly, the POWs raise their hands. POWs in unison, ja. The POWs sit at long tables, staring in disbelief at their plates. Real meat, vegetables, bread, butter. Hans, to fellow POW Friedrich. This is more food than we had in the Wehrmacht for a week. Friedrich, 25. They're trying to fatten us up before they kill us. Hans, then why did the guard just smile at me? An American guard walks by with a friendly nod. The Germans are bewildered. POWs work in the fields under minimal guard. Betty Carter, 26, Lieutenant Carter's wife, arrives in a jeep with supplies. She's warm, energetic, and unafraid. Betty, to the guard, which one speak English? Hans steps forward tentatively. Betty kinda good. I need help unloading these supplies. And I brought something for you boys. She reveals art supplies, paints, brushes, canvas, carving tools. The POWs stare in amazement. Friedrich, whispering to Hans, this is a trick. They want us to lower our guard. Betty, overhearing, it's not a trick, honey. You're going to be here a while. Might as well keep your hands busy and your mind sharp. A group of local children, ages 7 to 12, approach the fence, curious. Among them is Tommy Watson, 10, brave and inquisitive, and his sister Lucy, 8. Tommy calling out, hey, are you really Nazis? Hans walks closer to the fence, cautious. Hans, in broken English, we are soldiers. Like your fathers. Lucy, my daddy's in France fighting you. Tommy, elbowing Lucy. Not him specifically, dummy. The other Germans. An American guard approaches, but doesn't intervene, just watches. Tommy, Kadet, can you speak German? Say something in German. Hans, smiling slightly, was Macht der Horn? Children giggling, what's that mean? Hans, what would you like to hear? Tommy and Lucy return daily, with other children. Hans teaches them simple German words. The children bring drawings and show them through the fence. POWs carve wooden toys and pass them through to the kids. American guards supervise, but allow the interactions. POWs create intricate wooden carvings. Hans carves a small horse for Lucy. Friedrich paints a portrait of the camp. POWs work alongside local families in fields. An elderly farmer's wife brings them cold lemonade. They're treated with basic human dignity. Tommy arrives with a baseball and glove. Tommy, hey Hans, you ever play baseball? Hans, baseball. Tommy demonstrates throwing and catching. Hans laughs, the first genuine laugh he's had in years. Tommy, come on. The guard said it's okay if you stay on your side. An impromptu game develops. POWs on one side of the fence, kids on the other. Even the guards join in, laughing. POWs gather around. Friedrich is skeptical while Hans is reflective. Friedrich, it's propaganda. They want us to think America is wonderful, so we'll betray Germany. Hans, or maybe they're just people. Good people who don't hate us for being born German. Older POW, Werner, 45. In Russia, we would have been shot. In our own camps, we starved Allied prisoners. But here, they feed us, give us work, treat us like human beings. Friedrich, don't be fooled. Werner, interrupting, open your eyes, Friedrich. Those children don't hate us. Their mothers bring us food. The guards call us by our names. This is not the America Hitler told us about. A general inspects the camp. Lieutenant Carter and Betty show him around. The POWs are working peacefully, some see, creating art, others playing games during breaks. General, to Betty, ma'am, I hear you've been bringing these men art supplies, carving tools. Some people would say that's a security risk. Betty calmly, General, how many have escaped with carving tools? General, none, according to reports. Betty, that's because they don't want to escape, sir. They're treated better here than they were in their own army. They have hope again. General, hope for what? Betty, hope that when they go home, they'll remember that not everyone is an enemy, that humanity can exist even in war. The children, including Tommy and Lucy, stand with other townspeople as a victory parade celebrates the end of the war in Europe. American soldiers return home. The mood is jubilant but bittersweet. Tommy, to Lucy, what's going to happen to Hans and the others? Lucy, Daddy said they have to go back to Germany. Tommy, but Germany's destroyed. What if they don't have homes to go back to? POWs prepare for repatriation. Hans packs his few belongings. Betty arrives with a package. Betty, Hans, the children wanted you to have this. She hands him a scrapbook filled with drawings, photos, and messages from Tommy, Lucy, and the other kids. Hans, voice breaking, I don't know what to say. Betty, say you'll remember them. Say you'll tell people back home that not all Americans are monsters, that we try to be good to you. Hans, Mrs. Carter, I will tell everyone. You and your husband, you saved more than our lives. You saved our souls. The POWs line up to board trucks. Tommy, Lucy, and other children gather at the fence one last time. Tommy calling out Hans, will you come back someday? Hans, through tears, I hope so, Tommy. I hope so. Hans pulls out the carved wooden horse he made for Lucy. Hans counted Lucy. Catch. He tosses it over the fence. She catches it and holds it close. Lucy, I'll keep it forever. Lieutenant Carter approaches Hans. Lt. Carter Mueller, you were a good man, a good worker. I hope you find peace back home. Hans, Lieutenant, thank you for your humanity, for showing us that the enemy can also be a friend. They shake hands, former enemies, now mutual respecters. As the train pulls away, Hans looks out the window at the American landscape, so different from the destroyed Germany he's returning to. He clutches the scrapbook from the children. Elderly Hans, I went to America as a prisoner. I left as a man who had learned that even in the darkest times, kindness can survive. Those children, brave, curious, unafraid. They taught me more about courage than any battle ever did. Over 425,000 German POWs were held in 700 camps across America during World War II. Many were treated with dignity and respect, in accordance with the Geneva Convention. The children of American communities often formed unexpected friendships with these prisoners, seeing them not as enemies, but as young men far from home. After the war, approximately 5,000 German POWs chose to return to America permanently. Hans Mueller returned to Germany in 1946. In 1953, he emigrated to Texas with his family, where he lived until his death in 2001. He remained in contact with Tommy and Lucy Watson his entire life. Their story reminds us that humanity can prevail, even in the midst of war. An older Tommy, now 19, opens the front door. Standing there is Hans, now 31, with his wife and 2 young children. Tommy, tears in his eyes, Hans. You came back. Hans, I told you I would. They embrace. Lucy, now 17, runs out, still holding the carved wooden horse. Lucy, I kept it. I told you I would. Hans laughs, surrounded by the family that showed him the true meaning of American courage and kindness during the darkest time of his life.